getting fired, divorce, going bankrupt, being ripped off, collusion, payoffs, affairs, cheating on your wife, IRS and RevCan audits, being taken to human rights by an employee, farting in public, making mistakes, the economy, politics, social engineering, sales tactics, depression, and making money. Real life shit. The human experience. That's what makes a great show. Makes a great podcast. I'm Tim Byrne, and this is my podcast. And I am an emoji today. It's Wednesday night. And this is being brought to you by Filtrex, Filter Changing and Technologies, Stadium Door and Glass, and Burn On Demand General Contracting. You know what makes a boring, shitty podcast? How great your product or service is and your generic corporate message. So I'm warning you now, this podcast could be considered boring. Boring. My guests are from Kimberly-Clark. So get some NyQuil and get ready for bed. But if you do make it all the way through, I promise to be on the backside.
I'm Tim Byrne. This is Tim Byrne Almost Live. I am your Wednesday night drive home. I'm here with three really good-looking gentlemen. All right, Kimberly-Clark?
Yes, Kimberly-Clark, us too. Gojo Industries.
Okay, why are you guys at the REMI Show? Why? Why? Are you guys together? Sure.
It's a great question. So we've partnered with Gojo. So Kimberly-Clark and Gojo have partnered together for our smart washroom system called Invention.
Is Gojo the end seller then?
No. So
okay. So why are you guys here?
Well, it's a great question, right? So you're looking at two industry leaders that are having a marriage over the last few months, and that marriage really is how we work together in a smart washroom system. So Gojo, you may know us for our brands Purell.
Okay.
Purell is really known as a hand hygiene expert, and our good friends at Kimberly-Clark really known as handling the paper side of the business. So strategic partnership between hand hygiene on the skincare and then also towel and tissue with Kimberly-Clark.
But this is these are all hard consumable products, and you keep on talking about a smart bathroom.
Correct.
Okay, so take that. Where are you going with that then? Because you guys sell toilet paper and hand sanitizer.
That's where my friend Raj is going to come in.
Absolutely. Yeah. Actually, I'll speak to that for a second.
You're the technical guy.
Raj is the techie guy. He's our Invention.
I wouldn't say that.
Usually when guys are really good looking like that,
yeah.
they're dumb as a post.
So our Invention smart system is our latest innovation, and to your point, we're consumables, right?
Yeah.
And this is something completely different, and it's because as Class A office buildings, they often have, whether it's issues with bathroom facilities, and they don't want to be reactive to things because their tenants demand a lot from them. And our systems can help them reduce customer complaints by 75%, up to 75%.
So you're selling hardware?
Right. So the dispensers will actually, and Raj can get a little bit more into this in a second. I wanted to touch on some of the benefits of the system, because the system will alert them to when there's outages, when the dispenser's starting to run low, batteries, all those fun things that smart washrooms require.
So is it Wi-Fi managed?
It's a cellular network.
Really?
Yes.
You're working off a repeater that you put in the bathroom to cut into a cell line? Is that how it goes? Sorry, I'm not jumping around. Right?
Yeah, so we use a RF radio frequency.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, so that feeds into our gateway and it exits the gateway via proprietary cellular network. And it's not set up directly with any building. We're not asking to tap into anything. So it's set up separately. So you're
managing it, not the landlord. It's your system, your stuff inside the bathroom.
Correct.
Right, not the landlord's system. So you're deciding when it's empty, when to fill it, when to right? That's you're managing the information, or is the property manager?
So the property manager. So think about it as a platform. So it's an electronic in its most simple form. It's an electronic platform that's going to monitor all of your dispensers that are there.
Yep.
So for example, we have a skincare dispenser which either has sanitizer, soap. Kimberly-Clark would have a paper dispenser for towels and tissue. So the electronic platform is actually going to be measuring and monitoring that in a proprietary system which is shared with the customer and typically a Class A building. So as we mentioned, you can see all those service alerts. You can start allocating your resources against those bathrooms that for example are really, really busy, right? So you can have more people go there, etc.
So is it fee based then? Is like you're paying a monthly fee to have your bath?
Yes, it's a monthly restroom fee.
So why? Sorry, I'm going to be devil's advocate here, and we can cut this all out later.
Yeah.
Why would the landlord switch over to monitoring all those systems and not put a hard body in to do it? Hang on a second, because depending on what building I'm in, I like the bathroom attendant when I'm at the Shangri-La Hotel. I want to have that. It's part of the experience in comparison to decreasing headcount, because that's really what you're trying to do is decrease headcount.
Yes? Not at all. So the idea behind it is for allowing them to allocate their resources within the building. You think about the building, BSC, so a building contract cleaner, they don't just go into washrooms and clean it and fill dispensers. They have all kinds of other things they got to do throughout the building, right? Whether it's cleaning the public areas, not just the washrooms. So they can allocate those people to go do those other work rather than having to go check a washroom every 2 or 3 hours. So it's allowing them to use that time somewhere else.
But the only way I could rationalize putting in a smart bathroom is to decrease my headcount in a commercial application. In the Shangri-La application, or the Ritz-Carlton one, maybe I want the guy to stand there and wipe the counter, right? I get all that. In a commercial application, I'm not sure what it costs to put the technology in play.
Yeah.
But if I was a property manager, how many people am I going to be able to cut off my payroll to offset the cost of managing this? Because I now don't have to walk in there every 3 days.
So that's a great point you bring up. Along with our program, we actually have a return on our investment, which we guarantee that they won't invest more into it because of the system.
More product or more labor?
Sorry?
Are you guaranteeing they won't spend any more on product, or they'll spend less on product, or are you guaranteeing less labor? Both.
Yeah.
Really, you're doing a labor. I'm going to decrease your hard costs on labor.
Yes. So there's going to be a labor component, which because again you're reallocating those resources more effectively.
Right.
And then you're also so just maybe take a step back. Because
sorry, I'm acting like a property manager. I jump right into that money. Let's go. Right. I'm almost taking you to task, and I apologize.
So there's a couple universal problems, right? So one is obviously labor is if not the highest, one of the highest expenses within a building. But there's some other things as well. So a typical Class A building, the first or second complaint that tenants have, it's usually centered around the washroom. And those complaints are any number of things, but generally they are the batteries ran out of the dispenser, there's no product there, there's a dispenser broken, etc., etc. Right. So you've got the labor component, but you've also got all of these complaints. And believe it or not, within a Class A, that's taken very, very seriously, right? So that's really, the system is designed to address some universal problems, right? That already exist. It's not for technology's sake. Hey, we have this great whiz bang technology connected. It's really to address some things that are pretty prevalent right now.
So you're right. Inside an A-class building, dispensers not working, failure to produce soap. Becomes a nuisance complaint that actually costs a lot more intangible amount of money to manage the complaint than actually managing filling the soap dispenser.
It does.
Soap dispenser is really cheap to fill, but dealing with that tenant being pissed off is not.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
And it's not them moving out.
Yep.
It's just physically managing the complaint.
Yes.
The nasty email, the phone call, the edible arrangement you send afterwards, because it's the intangible.
Yeah.
How do you validate that? How do you give empirical data to show the property manager, I'm going to save you time on complaints, or don't you? Or you just go, it's an intangible thing we can't measure, but we know it's saving you time.
So a lot of buildings have work orders that are submitted to them. Right. So when there's a complaint, a work order comes in. What the system will do is it'll reduce those work orders, and then that gives you that tangible to say, we used to get 1,000 work orders, it's now down to 800.
Because if you can't measure it, you can't manage it.
Right.
Rule number one, right? Rule number one, you can't measure it, I can't manage it. So you're right. So all the work orders, so one of your goals is to go, I'm going to take your work order, whatever it is today, in your bathrooms, I'm going to drop that by 10% or 5% or whatever.
Proven up to 75% reduction of complaints and work orders.
Really?
Yeah.
Within the washroom. So when it comes to low paper, low soap, battery usage, or paper jams, Onvation actually circumvents them from even happening in the first place. BOMA says the average cost of a work order is around the $31 mark, but no matter what that number is, I think we can all agree here that you have to stop what you're doing, right? And it's an efficiency killer. You have to stop what you're doing, and you have to reallocate some labor. Someone has to execute a CHID, and then it gets resubmitted, and that's like the work order process. So we're circumventing that from even happening in the first place.
And I appreciate that seems really low. I appreciate that's an internal cost in comparison to externally writing a purchase order, having a trade come in, execute. CBRE once told me a long time ago that their purchase order cost, to put a purchase order through a vendor and have it roll through a vendor cycle, is $181.
Wow.
From cradle to grave, from the first call to Bob's Plumbing to it being paid,
Right.
to get it, like the execution of all the tasks. Their administrative cost, not the plumber's cost, not the material, just their internal cost was $181.
Wow.
Per PO.
And so the philosophy of it is you're changing it from reactive, right? So you don't have somebody, the building manager's not sitting with their electronic device waiting for that complaint on the 15th floor, and then they have to allocate a number of people to go up there and fix it. You have the ability now on whether it's a tablet or a simple device to monitor all of those systems, right? So you completely
You can do it on your phone, right?
proactive.
You can do it on your phone.
Yeah, phone, tablet,
Right,
any
how much
web
does it cost
device.
to do a bathroom? Sorry, I throw every guy that's come here. I go, and they go, well, I go, I got it.
Yeah.
Listen, a commercial bathroom on the 30th floor of CIBC Commerce Court. There's four shitters, 4 urinals, 4 sinks. What are we into? Are we into $1 million? Or are we into 10 grand? Are we into $5?
You want to answer that?
Yeah, so
Ballpark. I know you're throwing numbers here, but everybody wants to have this conversation. Nobody wants to throw it around. This is June 12, 2019. These prices are totally fictitious, but we want to have a conversation.
yeah, and just to be upfront and transparent, it's very difficult to throw out like
Everybody says that.
And every single building has its own unique DNA to carry around signal within that building. As soon as we get the information and data, we ask our customers to quickly fill out how many dispensers that you're going to need, how many restrooms, and like within 3 to 4 minutes, we can actually spit out a monthly restroom fee.
Because you're going into bathrooms that are already fitted for the most part. And yeah, you may make some modifications to some of the hardware, blah blah blah, but they're fitted. I mean, because where I'm heading with that is if it's a $5,000 expense, how long a payback is it until they get through it based off your $31 a call and your 75% decrease in call? So if it's a $100,000 expense to a bathroom, okay, that payback's too long for me. Is it a 4-year payback? Is it a 2-year payback? Is it a 1-year payback?
So there's a mixture of washrooms out there, though, right? So it's not always fitted exactly the same.
But if we know it's $31 for the average service call by BOMA, and we know you reduce it by 75%, and you had 100 calls a month, decreased by 75, that's our 75%. That's how much money we saved.
Sure.
How much money did it cost us to put the thing together? And is it going to take me 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months to make it?
But it all depends on what they were using before, right? So if they were using like a folded towel versus a roll towel, there's huge savings going from a folded towel to a roll towel system, because you're gonna change it out less. There's a lot less waste.
But don't you try to make the payback within a certain time frame? I mean, you go beyond 4 years. In my world, after 4 years, you kind of go, I don't know if that payback's worth it anymore. If I'm into 5, 6, unless it's a capital. By the way, you are everything you guys put in gets just damaged, destroyed, hurt, injured, and it's I don't know how long your lifespan of your products are. But if I can't, I've got to be able to amortize it a lot less than the length of the product. So if your product lasts 10 years before it kicks the bucket, I got to have this paid off in 2 or 3. If it's going to last 30 years, I got to have it paid off in 5 or 6. Right? I can't amortize. I can't amortize.
Contractor for 3 years, right? So
is that going to pay back all the equipment?
Yeah, because that's where the return of the guarantee is, right? Our return on the investment that's guaranteed. It's a 3-year program with us.
So day one, are they saving what they spend? I mean, you got to be able to go to the client and go, whatever you're going to spend, we're going to save, and at the end of 3 years, you get to keep all the savings.
Right.
Right.
Sure.
I mean, that's what I mean. That's right. Is that the goal?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys don't sell to the end user. Why are you at the show? Why isn't your end user at the show?
So we sell through distribution, so we're the manufacturer.
Right.
And really, because on this system, obviously we have partners that sell to the end customer on our behalf. But this is a relatively new concept. It's a new innovation that we've really taken the lead of at a manufacturer level. So ultimately, the products are going to come through our distribution, but we're all pretty active at a manufacturing level right now. Again, we're still in we're well past a proof of concept stage.
Right.
So we have active customers. We have customers that are using the systems and things like that. But it's still a point where we're still developing it.
Have you found it hard for your clients to use your app?
I'm sorry, what's the question?
Well, okay, so everybody has their software app, their platform.
Sure.
And sooner or later, and I've heard clients go, I don't want to load up another app on my phone to monitor another something or other. Now you don't have a problem with saving money. You have a problem with them going, I have an app for my my water usage. I have an app for my lights.
Yeah.
I have an app for my elevators. Now I have an app for my shitter paper.
Yeah.
Like, I've got enough apps for my phone. Do you find any apprehension with your clients saying, okay, I got enough desktop widgets?
So here, I think it has to come back to this whole notion that technology has to solve a problem, right? Because if you walk the show here, everybody has a connected solution. Like, you'll see floor cleaners here that are connected, right? So the whole connectivity thing new, right? So what we're trying to do is actually address some of these problems. And so I'm completely with you. If the end customer doesn't see any value in adding, a management system,
right,
they're not going to put it in there. But I would tell you, certainly from my organization, we've done a lot of work in acute care, like within hospitals, and that's around driving hand care compliance, right? So making sure that their people are actually washing their hands more, right? So again, it's addressing.
How do you do that?
By monitoring, right? So what we're all trying to do right here is get actionable insights. To get that, you've got to measure behavior, right? So we're essentially taking a lot of those learnings, which is measuring behavior, and then applying that in the commercial space. But back to your question, if customers don't see value in that, right? If it doesn't solve a problem, it's just another app. Like you said.
I think to your point, if they're not willing to add an app, then they're not willing to use the system.
Yeah.
Right. I don't add an app if I'm not interested in using whatever that app is supposed to do for me. If I see the value in the app where it's going to help benefit me, and whether it's the monitoring of it and all that stuff, then you're going to do it, right? Like that's typically why people migrate to certain apps.
So have you thought about taking your app to that next place where you can actually end load a work order into their work order management system, so it goes, yes, the soap dispenser's down, whatever, battery's dead, and so you have an exchange, and you dump that information into the work order system so that you can self-produce a work order?
Yeah, well, we built our system with an open systems architecture, so it just means it can communicate or exchange information with any other devices out there. So that's for sure going to be a part of it. We're creating tremendous successes right now. We're guaranteeing an ROI within the first 12 months.
Okay.
And it's a mix of hard costs and those soft costs. So we're acquiring all these things at a base level. Like, we have plans to innovate far beyond that, and that could mean something like maybe connecting or creating an API with another work order system, or maybe even creating an API so we can have a product ordered just in time.
So you guys aren't trying to sell shit here at the show, no pun intended. All you're here is to push the smart bathroom technology and have them contact your affiliates inside this marketplace.
Yeah, it's the way I...
Are you all out of Toronto, by the way?
Yeah,
we're out of Toronto.
Yeah. The way I say it is, it's an idea that's slightly ahead of its time. There's a lot of customer interest. There's a tremendous amount of... Everyone likes to talk about technology.
Sure.
And particularly in this sort of... in the Janssen world, quite frankly, technology is somewhat underserved, I would say. So it's an exciting thing to talk about, but we're not quite there yet. So it's where it's exciting is, you have two best-in-class organizations with Kimberly-Clark and Gojo that are really taking a leadership stake on where we think the smart bathroom of the future is going to be, and maybe it's here now, maybe it's here 2 or 3 years down the road, but it's more about that forward-looking leadership.
Your business platform, do you guys all make money from selling to the middle, your dealer? Is that how you guys make your income? Or are you guys all just corporate paid and don't give a shit whether you sell anything or not? Well, are you actually looking to make, you guys all look to make sales
Absolutely.
to your end user?
Yeah.
We partner with our distributors.
Or are you just corporate evangelists? That's what I'm getting at. Are you just corporate evangelists?
We partner with our partners
you got to make revenue, right?
to sell to the end user. So
You're an evangelist, I can tell. That's okay. I totally see.
You saw the look.
Yeah, I saw that. Like, you damn right. I said shit to nobody.
we're constantly working with our distributor partners, making end user calls together.
Okay, so whose phone number are you about to say out loud on the open air so they can call you? Phone number?
That's mine right here. So I'm the guy they can talk about if they want to know how the functionality, how the cost structure works, and the benefits that it's going to drive. We can go over the ROI functionality as well. But yeah, I'm Raj Saul. I'm the on-patient specialist for Canada.
What's your phone number?
My phone number is 905-301-7126.
Do you know what I used to do when I was younger?
What?
At trade shows? I go around and collect the guys' business cards, and then I go over to the brass rail in Toronto and hand them out to strippers as them all the time. I had so much fun doing that. It was like, you were young, right? I was 25, 26, coming to these shows, and I hand out my buddies' business cards like mad. I take wads of their cards.
There you go. That's the most people you ever get.
If you ever see your business, like, hey, I used all my business cards? Yes, because I have them all, and I'm up at the brass rail, and I don't go into the drinker, and I just go in there.
If my phone blows up, I'll let you know.
You guys are getting all kinds of weird phone calls? I love that.
We'll see.
Gentlemen, I really appreciate you all coming on Timber and All's Live, and I really appreciate being here at the REMI Show. Do me a favor, give me your phone number one more time, just for fun.
905-301-7126.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Timber and Almost Live. I'd like to thank the folks from Kimberly-Clark and Gojo that came on board today to sell smart shitters. I need a smart shitter in my house. You're going to see this on Wednesday night. I want me to be your drive home. I am Tim Burns. This is Timber and Almost Live. Take care.
Not all these podcasts will be exciting, entertaining, funny. It just won't happen. I think the corporate bullshit you hear all the time sometimes becomes rhetoric, and you become numb of it. And I think what makes this podcasting interesting for people to listen to is because of the human side. For the next guest that comes on my show or asked to come on my show, try to be human. I think that's what the world's missing. I think the only way you learn is through hearing about other people's mistakes and admitting your own. And probably one of the biggest problems with the education system right now is that it doesn't allow kids to fail. And if you don't learn how to fail in life, you can't learn how to succeed in life. It's an oxymoron, but it's true, right? The more you fail, the more you can succeed. You have to be willing to take a risk and get hit in the head with a 2x4 every once in a while. So Anthony Vinci from ProMan, I'm really sorry that all my podcasts aren't super entertaining for you. But I'll keep doing them, and I'll make some mistakes along the way. I'm glad you're still awake. But now it's time for bed. Sweet dreams, God bless. Don't let the bed bugs bite. And remember, stick your head above that foxhole. Because if you don't make a couple of fucking mistakes in this life, you can't become a hero. I'll see you next week, okay? Bye, guys.